This is a HeadGum podcast.
You got mail.
Hi, I'm Millie Tamaras.
And I'm Elise Morales.
And this is Go Touch Grass, the podcast where we log in.
So you can log off.
Elise and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama so that you can literally do anything else with your time.
And if you like what you hear today and you want to hear more, we've got a Go Touch Grass Patreon already up and running with tons more content every week, access to our Discord community, and our spin-off series, Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.
Yes.
We love your reviews. We need more of them.
We do.
We just got a really nice feature on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
We are emerging voices.
We are emerging voices, and if you've heard our voices emerge and you like what you've been hearing, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
And please tell your friends. That's the best review.
Yes.
Tell your friends, repost us, do all that. We really want to keep this going.
Yeah. We would really like to keep doing everything that we're doing. And I'm going to say this now. Mm-hmm. I've been holding this. Mm-hmm. And I think it's time to say, because of the influx of incredible reviews that we're about to get. Mm-hmm. Millie's name is spelled M-I-L-L-Y.
Yes.
And my name is spelled A-L-I-S-E.
Yes.
A-L-I-S-E. We get the
Crazy.
most wonderful,
Insane.
beautiful reviews, the kindest reviews in the world with our names spelled crazy.
Insane. Like M-I-L-L-E-Y, Miley. Millie with 2 eyes.
E-L-I-S-E, that's plagued me my whole life. But I get Elisa a lot. Listen, we love you. We love you so much.
We love the positive feedback.
We love the positive feedback so much. But I've seen it enough in our reviews that I was like, maybe we should just say how to spell our names at this point.
Say how to spell our name. It's in the graphic of
It is, but you know what?
Yeah, listen. Who has the time?
Me, the typo queen.
Yeah.
Someone, I spell things wrong all the time. I know. There are different ways to spell either of our names, so just M-I-L-L-Y, A-L-I-S-E.
Yeah,
and we love you so
kicks
much.
my ass. Available could never spell that right. And also, when I got the nails, when I got the acrylics, nothing's getting spelled right. I'm misspelling I'm misspelling whatever. But if you're taking the time, your time is precious.
Yeah.
We wanted to count, and M-I-L-O-I, A-L-I-S-E.
You did just say M-I-L-L-I.
God
you
damn
just
it. M-I-L-O-I. See? I'm typing
It could happen to
anyone.
All the reviews are from Millie.
I know. I'm botting myself. I know. Jesus Christ.
But seriously, we love you, and we love your 5-star reviews in all of their forms. I just thought, it's time. It's time for us to address this. And now it's time for us to address the beautiful and amazing person who's in this room with us.
There'll be 100 people, but one of them
is our guest.
Is our guest.
She's a friend of the pod. She's a comedian. She's an actress. She's a fellow podcast host. She's a fellow Cuban. Thank you so much. And most importantly, she's from Jersey.
Is that the most important thing about me?
And you're not.
And you're not. That's right.
Let's give it up for Ariel, Leaty.
Woo!
Wow.
Yes. Oh, studio audience. Thank you so much.
Millie's Direction did say to do a Phil Murphy voice for that, but I don't.
In reference to the meme, we're from Jersey and you're not.
I don't even know that meme. I've never
Oh,
heard
really?
it.
From the DNC roll call?
No, sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're from Jersey and you're not.
No, see how I just didn't. See how I'm already out of the discourse?
You gotta keep up with
I'm not keeping
Jersey
up.
Discourse.
Well,
I know.
listen to our podcast. Do one of those things. Keep up or listen to the podcast.
I've done both. Okay.
Well,
I thought I have.
I thought
I did. I thought wrong.
Well,
here I am.
Here you
Hi,
are,
guys.
and we're so excited to have you.
I know how to spell your names.
Yeah,
and also it is on the graphic, so I am judging everyone that got it wrong.
We
you can
will
judge
never
you're
judge
a
our
guest.
5-star reviewers.
You
guys
can judge
won't.
because you're a guest.
I will.
Yeah, you can
spell things
judge.
right.
If you leave less than a 5-star and it's spelled wrong,
No, if you leave less than a 5-star review.
Because they could be talking about anybody. If it's spelled wrong.
It's not about me. I don't know
I don't know who those
I don't know
girls are.
Miley.
Miley and Elisa, I've never heard of them.
Yeah. It was like, I think I remember like a kid who was like talking about his birthday party. That was like when I was a preschool teacher for, oh my God, Millie Lore. When I was a preschool teacher in Patterson, New Jersey.
Damn. Okay.
From Jersey. Exactly. I'm doing it.
I'm so sorry.
I put in the work. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one kid was like, oh, my birthday. You're not, it's like, well, you're not, the teacher was like, you're not having a birthday party. And he's like, what? She's like, you don't even know when your birthday is. You got to memorize your birthday. And he's like,
Damn.
Because that was
know when your birthday is.
You didn't.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
I know that one. I know that one.
Okay. Ariel, between your podcast Fraudsters and your TikTok, where you talk about your favorite Lifetime movies that are ripped from the headlines.
That was paid content, but yeah, sure.
Hey, listen.
You still
Get the
made
bag.
it.
I still did make it. That's true. Shout out to Lifetime.
But you do a lot of content around liars, cheaters, fraudsters, scammers. This theme will come up later when we get to Grasshole. Okay. What makes this so interesting to you?
Because I've been fraud, but also I've committed some fraudulent things that I will not talk about on this podcast, but I've done some things. I've seen some things, and I just find it interesting. What I find the most interesting is that most of the people that get away with it the most have done things that are so blatantly fraudulent, and that's how they're able to get away with it. So someone like a Donald Trump or what was Homeboy's name?
Which one?
Exactly.
Bernie Madoff.
Yeah,
I feel
him.
like they get so like arrogant that they're not going to get caught. That
Santos
it gets,
is who I'm thinking.
Oh,
of.
George
yes,
Santos.
Just so blatant, so arrogant that
Our
it's
queen.
just like, truly my queen.
Yeah.
Because he just has
Is
gotten
he
away
Cuban?
with so much.
What's going on?
He's
Brazilian.
whatever you want him to be.
Yeah,
that
well,
He's
he-
famously Brazilian.
Oh.
That's why he was
Allegedly.
passing bad checks in Brazil. I mean, I guess we don't know anything.
We
that
don't
he was
know
saying,
anything about him.
But he's not one of ours. He was passing bad checks in Brazil. That's where he was performing his Guitarra Revage.
Tukara Revenge. I'm so mad that I didn't remember.
ours. Who knows? No one will ever know.
Famously, no Cuban fraudsters.
Famously, not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
So you're saying that people get so like egregious with their stuff.
Yeah, that it's just like they think they're gonna. I mean, they do. They get away with it because they're so egregious with it.
Well,
And it's because people are like, they couldn't possibly be lying. That would be too crazy. And then they're lying. They're fully lying, and I love that.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this theme will come back.
This theme will come back, but Ariel, before we get there,
All right.
me and you have so much in common.
Oh, wow.
We're both Afro-Latina.
That's true.
We have this gorgeous full head of curly hair. You betrayed me today.
I
with
did
this
straighten it today because
up.
I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. Well,
That's really what it is. I could
Yeah.
not be bothered.
but most importantly, you're my sister in struggle
Wow.
on the front lines with Android activism.
Wow. It's you and me against the world,
You and me
Millie.
against the world. What's it like to be a leader in the movement? And what is the most common misconceptions about owning an Android that people do not get?
Wow.
Say it. I'm giving you this shared platform.
Wow. And I'm so glad that Apple has shouted you guys out
Yeah.
for
I
this
mean, you know
specific
what? Shout out to
episode.
Apple
No, shout out to Apple. Thank you
Shout
so
out to
much.
Apple,
I use
whatever.
Apple products.
Yes,
but
not the phone. The phone, no. Come on.
My phone is a Google Pixel 6.
Exactly.
I think they're
Let
up
'em
to
know.
like 14 now.
Well-
I haven't had to upgrade. Why? Because it works
'Cause it's a
still.
good phone.
If it ain't broke,
Don't fix it, okay?
It's so hard being me. Every single day, the discrimination that I face,
The oppression.
the abuse, the
People
oppression.
don't get it.
It's
At least
literally every
you need
day.
to listen. As an
I think
ally,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
you
no,
need
what
to
you need to
listen.
sit and listen.
You
You're
need to
laughing,
sit
but you
and
need to
I
listen.
wasn't saying anything.
But just take it
listening.
in
you need to know when to talk and when to
and when
listen.
to listen.
Okay, and that's a message for all Apple
Yeah.
users.
You need to know when to talk and when to listen.
You need to know when to listen, okay? And people don't get it. Talk about some of the discrimination.
So the discrimination that I face. So
oppression.
when you're here on Android Island, it's a lonely island because people say they want to FaceTime you, they can't. They want to send you airdrop things, they can't. So it actually weeds out some of the people in my life that I don't need.
Okay, yeah,
Or like
exactly.
dating, a lot of the time they'd be like, why is there green bubbles? You have a green
Okay,
bubble.
well, you're
I don't want
jealous.
to talk to you.
It's green.
And I lost many a
Me too.
suitor.
Me too.
Many a suitor.
Hashtag.
You discussed this
no,
in
I'm
your
kidding.
Subway take.
I just discussed this in my Subway
is
take.
real.
These guys that you gotta agree. You know why they don't
But they
like
weed
it?
themselves out.
They weed themselves out, but you know why? Because a guy who's like, they don't know what to do with you. That
Yeah.
you're readable. You don't.
Word.
They don't know when you're reading their text. They don't know.
They don't know.
You're hard to pin down.
Yes, it's
You're
true.
a loose cannon. You're a wild card. They don't like
Yeah.
that.
They want a woman they can keep tabs on. They
want
want
a
read
woman-
receipts
They
Word.
want
on.
to read
Read
receipts. They
receipts.
want that. Y'all have? You follow each other and shit on
Yeah.
Apple phones?
I do not share my
Location, yeah. See how I don't even know what it's called?
Yeah.
I think now I share my location with my husband, and there was like a specific reason we turned it on. But I know people
Yeah,
who...
I know the reason, patriarchy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the
Wow.
reason is that he likes to know where I am at all times. But like, there are people who share their location with so many others
Not
and
like
so many
none
friends.
of you know where
I don't do
I
that.
am.
There's that Find My Friends thing where you can see where all your friends are all the time. I don't understand that.
Well,
I don't like that. I've seen things where people are like, I had a stalker and then she used Find My Friends to find me. And I'm like, yeah, why do you have
Find
why
My
do you
Friends.
find
Turn it
your
off.
friends when you have a stalker?
Turn
I'm
it
sorry,
off.
that's not a victim blame, but I'm saying like
No, I'm victim
Yeah.
blaming. Turn it
Wow.
off.
if I have a stalker, I'm probably deleting Find My Friends.
Right.
Wow.
Immediately.
wow.
Or get an Android where
Get
they
an
don't have
Android.
that.
And
They
then
don't
nobody
have
Get an
that
Android.
mess.
You're
We
not
don't
even
got
in the
that.
conversation.
Right.
Okay, you're hard to pin down.
You're
No
hard
one
to
knows
pin
what
down.
you're doing.
And you know, if somebody loves you and they have an Apple phone, they will download the necessary apps to make things happen.
Exactly. And that's a big word of like when you love someone, you will do the work.
Yeah, you'll do
to
the work.
make sure.
Yeah. You'll send me photos and videos on WhatsApp. 'Cause That's the only
Exactly.
way.
Come
and
on.
you can FaceTime me through Google Meet.
Google me. Okay. You know what?
Me and Millie on
Yeah,
Google
I
Meet.
know. I try to take it seriously.
Well,
I try to take
listen,
myself seriously.
WhatsApp is good.
It gets the job
Instagram
done.
has its
I know.
own
Yeah.
video
Instagram, I
call.
would call it fake time when we would do little fake time videos.
Listen, so there are ways, and
There
if
are
you love
ways.
someone, they'll make it. But I just like really wanted to put that spotlight because
Yeah.
it's an issue that
It's a
plagues us
huge
every day.
issue.
And I think people don't get it. And I'll get on my soapbox all day. All day on my
And
soapbox.
so
I
will
welcome that.
But-
And literally every day, the producer of my other podcast is like, "Hey, can we just get you an Apple phone?" And I'm like, no.
No, because now
Why?
I'm doubling down.
Why?
No, absolutely not.
Are you not communicating with me now?
So what?
Yeah.
You just want me to
To be a
change
part of
my
your
race
cult?
too?
Yeah,
You want me
let's
to
talk
get,
about that.
you want what else you want? Huh?
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't
It's
like
fucked
it.
up. Anyway, so thank you for that.
Thank you for putting a spotlight on
And
me.
I
No,
just
no,
want to
no.
say I respect what both of you guys are doing, and I respect your lifestyle choices.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Elisa's making it work. Elisa's done the work. Elisa's
She's done
made
the
it work.
She's being an ally.
She knows sometimes.
She was being a little shady, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, you know what? The shade. That's her issue. She has to work out. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that's true.
That's her projections.
That's true. You're so right.
I'm projecting.
projecting.
It's true. I'm projecting.
You're projecting, and the bubble
I'm
is
projecting.
green.
I'm
bubble is
in my
green.
feelings because I could have a cheaper phone.
Yeah,
Well,
you
And
could.
that doesn't
That
break.
lasts long.
And
That lasts
And
long,
you
has
know
better
what? Can
camera.
I say something embarrassing? People are like, "How do you like your flip phone?" And I'm like, "Great," because it started being like really crusty and really like fucked up. My screen was cracked. Remember when you remember seeing my screen cracked? And I'm like, that's the only thing. That's my only complaint, guys. It was the screen protector. And actually, the phone's
see?
fine, and I actually don't have to replace it.
Yep.
I was gonna literally get it upgraded to the 6. So I'm like, fuck, like that's my one. And it was just the screen protector.
I'm actually rocking a cracked screen protector right now.
Me
Wow.
too. Same.
Wow.
Sometimes it's just
Women
a
in STEM.
protector.
Women in
yeah,
STEM.
exactly.
Honestly.
Well, let's get to the important stuff.
Yes.
Before we get to the discourse, there's been quite a few updates that I just wanted to share. So I'm
Yeah.
going to do a rundown of things that have happened in the past week. Okay. We'll do really quick because again, we have to get to the discourse.
Yeah.
But I do want to leave space for these updates. So
Yeah.
just reactions real quick.
Things
you
we've
know.
talked about on the pod.
Yes, our characters from the pod are coming back in this segment. So it's like update corner, headlines, top lines. We'll come up with the news for like a thing
Yeah.
for this segment. But first of all, we do have to start the pod with some really sad news.
Yeah.
I know this is like a comedy podcast, but like we have to be serious right now. Hvaldimir, the Russian spy whale, was found dead under mysterious circumstances
Under mysterious circumstances.
off the coast of Norway. This is 100% real. The most unsettling thing about this, at least I don't even know if you know this, that he was fucking assassinated.
What?
He had bullet holes in
Well,
him.
it said mysterious circumstances.
Well, they don't know. Well,
I'm
that's
sorry.
that shit
That's
is off.
mysterious.
Someone
Someone assassinated,
assassinated?
gun bullets to Hvaldimir the whale.
Why'd they gun him down like that?
Okay.
Girl,
We need to avenge Vladimir.
So he was a Russian asset.
Yes.
We do know. So his name in Norwegian, where he was found, is Hvaldimir, but then that's Vladimir in like Norwegian or whatever. And they did find him wearing a little vest that said property of St. Petersburg. So that's...
Yeah. So...
And he was doing reconnaissance spying. He was spying.
But he was freed. He was trying to live his life
he'd been
back.
out of that game for a
He'd been out of the
while.
game for a while, and it caught up with him, and they're trying to find the assailant. People are pissed. So I just want to give a moment
Wow.
of silence.
Someone shot the
Someone
whale?
shot the fucking whale, Elise. Bullet holes, dog. Bullet
Well,
holes.
you made it hot for him, honestly.
This shit.
You made it hot for him.
Listen.
You should have never brought him up on the pod. He was living his
is
quiet
true that
life
he
in
was
Alaska
attacked.
or whatever.
He was
Kind of
attacked.
immediately after we talked about him and we put a link
yeah.
in the story.
I'm saying, you made it
Well,
hot.
And now we're getting these Apple Podcast features. We don't know
listen,
who's
it's
hearing
hard.
these
It's a hard
features.
burden to be an emerging voice. Is
Yeah.
all I have to say. Now that we're emerging voices on Apple Podcasts,
Wow.
we have to take the power more seriously.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, I want to leave a moment of silence for our bi whale show king. Mm-hmm. Rest in power,
Rest in power.
Vladimir. Moment of silence. Okay, thank you.
That's
And-
the second time we've had to do a moment of silence for an animal that we've talked about on the podcast.
Well, I'm not gonna.
Alice the fish.
Alice the fish. I'm not gonna stop doing this. This is hard. This is hard.
It's hard work.
reporting. It's hard work. Reporting, promoting. It's just hard. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean, watch this space.
yeah.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you.
My home.
Speaking of other sad, tragic news, the Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch, announces a new podcast called Talk Tuah on Jake Paul's Better Podcast Network. If you're wondering what could possibly go on that podcast, it could not be those. None of those words are in the Bible.
Yeah,
by the way.
I was
Nothing.
really
Hawk Tuah is
disturbed.
not in the Bible. Jake Paul's not in the Bible. Whatever.
His podcast, I was really disturbed by all of the details of what you just said.
Well, in case you are wondering, the first episode, there's a clip from the first episode circulating where her guest is comedian Whitney Cummings. And in the thing,
right.
Whitney FaceTimes Matt Rife to try to get him to date the Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch.
To get him to date Hawk Tuah.
Exactly. So just completely cursed things.
Okay.
This gave me an instant migraine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
instantaneous.
Wow.
And I don't like to use this word often,
No, go ahead.
but it is white nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the definition of white nonsense. And I, when we talked about Hawk Tuah, we were fair to her and we said, you can't just say that she's right-leaning just because she's in Nashville and she's got a little accent. And she had gone on a podcast where she was asked if she would Hawk Tuah on Donald Trump, and she said no. So,
Okay.
we left the benefit of the doubt open to her, but this is disturbing information.
Jake
wait.
Paul, Matt Rife, and Whitney Cummings, it ain't looking good.
When you're asking if she would Hawk Tuah on Donald Trump, does she mean on his dick?
I think it was
As
on
a
his-
person,
I
like
think
As
it
a
was on
dick,
his
as
dick.
his
on
dick.
you.
I think it
Okay.
was on his dick.
Okay, just making sure, because then that's a real distinction.
That is a huge distinction. I think in the context of the podcast, it was, would you suck Donald
Donald
Trump's
Trump's
dick
dick.
and
Okay,
also Hawk Tuah
I
on
needed
it?
to know the distinction.
Well,
I needed to
I
know.
mean,
I needed to know.
And to be fair, she did get famous for saying that she gives good blowjobs. She's probably not talking about political. She's probably not making deep political commentary.
Yeah.
She
on
might start.
She might now.
Yes, we got to
Sorry.
listen to the pod.
And speaking of conservative commentator, there's a new update. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh, who we covered for trying to cancel Miss Rachel for
Yes.
saying Happy
With
Pride.
Grasshole, yes.
Matt Walsh has recently come out strong against raw milk, which is
Oh, he
another
came out
main character.
against.
He came out against raw milk and has pissed people off with this tweet. Raw milk is disgusting. We live in a first world civilized society, and people are actively choosing to consume milk riddled with E. coli and listeria. Pasteurization is not some evil sorcery. It just kills the dangerous bacteria, you morons. So he lost a lot of his followers.
Are there that many people drinking raw milk?
Oh yes,
yeah.
that was on our Aquila episode. That there are a lot of people drinking raw milk.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day that I was looking through just a casual Pinterest recipe.
Oh Jesus!
And what do you know? Raw milk drop. In like the big long thing they write at the beginning of the Pinterest recipe before you can get to the recipe. For some reason, I didn't hit jump to recipe, and I was scrolling through what this woman had to say, and she was like,
"Because women voices matter."
Yeah, actually, that's really nice of you.
And she was like, now that I'm postpartum, I only drink raw milk. And I was like, ah!
Yeah.
Oh, no. And then I couldn't even make her recipe because I'm like, I can't trust this recipe.
No, yeah.
This lady drinks bacteria.
And feeds it to her child.
And gives it to her child. And this is what I'm saying. Twitter gets a lot of slack for being right-leaning, rightfully so. But we need that same energy for Pinterest because the shit that's going on Pinterest.
Crazy.
Pinterest is crazy. Am I on it? Yes. But sometimes I want to look at pictures and stuff. TikTok is great, but it's a bunch of yapping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Twitter, people are reading. I want to look at pictures. Mm-hmm. I want to see how this bitch in fucking Ohio has her living room for fall.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see. But guess what? Right-leaning shit. So I'm just letting you know. Finally, the publication time of this pod recorded on Monday, released on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. When this pod releases, the 9-month Royal Caribbean cruise Serenade of the Seas will finally be over.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
You forgot about it? It's coming to an end. It returns to Miami on September 10th. It will have spent 274 days at sea and hit a total of 160 destinations, including 8 world wonders. We've followed this along the world. We've got a lot of memes, and it's finally coming to an end.
Wow.
Reflections.
I mean, I just can't wait to see the video of everyone deboarding the cruise, looking their new selves. Like, I wonder if we'll be able to see in their eyes that they've been changed by the 9 months.
They're already reflecting, like, there are already things of, like, we have one more week left, I'm so sad.
Well, there were, like, people on TikTok doing, like, almost like reality. Like, this is me on the cruise.
Yes. Those are our updates. Any final thoughts before we move on to the next segment?
Okay, I have a final thought that is related to Talk Tuah.
Okay.
And it's kind of a prediction, and it's a really cursed prediction, and I hate to put it out in the world, but I also need to put it out in the world in case it comes true. Okay. You know the trend in, like, recent years with elections, like, the political candidates will go on podcasts.
I already know what's
go
happening.
on a semi-friendly. I'm not talking about like Joe Biden on Pod Save America. I'm talking about like them going, like how Obama used to go on. This wasn't a podcast per se, but like Obama and Hillary went on Between Two Ferns. Like you go on like a friendly entity where you can show your personality. You're going to do an interview. It's not necessarily overtly political, but like, they're your friends. So like Trump just went on the Theo Vaughn podcast.
Yes, I saw that. Ridiculous.
Which is, put a pin in that discourse. I'm ready to say here on Go Touch Grass that I think before the election, Kamala Harris will go on Call Her Daddy.
Oh no, I don't think that will happen.
I think
that's
it
too
might.
far. That's too far.
I think it might because again, call her daddy. They're not asking any hard hitting questions. They're not making any like subversive points like we are. Okay,
yeah.
They're not.
True,
they're not talking about spy whales. Okay, they're making everybody look cool and talk about sucking dick.
And like,
and all she got to do is talk about how she goes down on Doug, and she got some. And again. You
think Kamala's going to talk about going down on
That's what I mean. I think it's too sexual of a podcast for her to do.
But she's not going to ask sexual questions. Well.
Yeah, but I don't know. When I was watching this Katy Perry interview that she did, I was like, oh, this is actually the perfect weird place for her to go and get this little cred of like, oh, I did a cool podcast because, she asked Katy Perry, like, why did you work with Dr. Luke? And then Katy Perry said a bunch of word salad and she was like, great. So it's like, that's the energy. I do think it's a cursed prediction, but I do think we could be living in a world where we're like, hey, daddy gang, it's the vice president, Kamala Harris.
She makes me want to glug. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I said it out loud, but I had to say it out loud.
Thank you for that.
I get where your head is at. I just don't think it's going to happen, and I hope that you are very wrong.
Okay.
I'm hoping for the best.
I'm hoping for the country.
For our country, I'm hoping for the best.
Well, and that leaves us today to today's e-dictionary, which is something I've been seeing online, and it comes up in our discourse. And also, this is what Elise's prediction made me want to do. And the word of the day is crashing out.
Oh, yeah.
Crash out.
Crashing out.
So crash out means to commit an act of violence due to rage and a lack of logic.
Yeah.
So like people have kind of, the source of it kind of is related to crash dummy. It's like a person who is consistently willing to commit acts of violence over trivial or often unserious matters. Again, to go insane or do something stupid. And again, violence in the way that the internet has used it is like she chose violence today when she tweeted this.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, she's texting her ex 100 times like she's crashing out, you know?
Yeah.
So in that way, you know, something small triggered a big, huge reaction. I kind of say like it's similar to freak out a little bit, like freaking out. But the word of the e-dictionary word is crash out.
Crash out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Crash out, crashing out. So are we ready for the discourse?
I'm
ready.
so ready for the
So
discourse.
ready.
Okay. Today's discourse is all about the Ice Spice Cleotrapa feud that has happened this past week.
Millie told me we were talking about this, and I purposefully avoided so that I can hear in real time the details.
Okay,
So-
well, let's introduce the cast of characters. We have Ice Spice, whose real name is Isis Nyjah Gaston, professionally known as Ice Spice. She's an American rapper, born and raised in the Bronx. Her birthday is January 1st, 2000.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
something, you
No
know,
one should be born in the
ominous
year
there.
2000.
She began her musical career in 2021. That's when she started rapping. She started collabing with Riot, who is another
Stop
character that
playing with Riot.
Stop playing with Riot. Gaston is of mixed ethnicity. Her father is of African American descent, like Nigerian, people say, and her mother, Sharina Alamanzar, is Dominican. Sharina.
I actually didn't know that until you
Yeah,
said
well,
that.
you just
I
said
was
the name
well,
and you're
it
like,
is
that's Dominican.
Yeah.
Ice Spice gained major recognition in late 2022 with her song Munch, parentheses, Feeling You, which went viral on TikTok. Ice Spice is a controversial figure because if you think of like how high, like how big, she's won Grammy, she's won Artist of the Year, she's won all this stuff, but she's like made a lot of headway in just 2 years. And some people say like her rise has been due to her ability to capitalize like online, like being online and like her internet culture savvy. Some people say that, you know, her fame is attributed to this breath of fresh air because she's a hip hop artist, but she specifically focuses in drill music, which is like a subculture of hip hop, specifically only in New York. Pop Smoke was like kind of the biggest artist of that genre. So it's like a lot faster and stuff, kind of hip hop. And so she was a breath of fresh air in the drill scene. It's mostly men. And she's talking about like kind of, and it's more like truly about violence and stuff. And then she's talking about like being hot and having a big ass. But other people have said that Ice Spice is the beneficiary of colorism and that she has privilege as a light-skinned black woman. And people also do the Cardi B thing where they like even debate her blackness in general. But they say her ability to get attention in the black community is because of her light skin. She also has this proximity to whiteness that darker skin performers don't have, that has her being able to get opportunities, right? So that's Ice Spice, and like this is a context of like where we're at with Ice Spice. Now we have Cleotrapa. Cleotrapa, she's a rapper. She also does kind of drill music too. And she has darker skin. And I would say like she has not had a meteoric rise. Her rise has been like consistent. She's been releasing music for longer, and she's had like a steady fan base. And I would always say, but she was always had like a career. I would say I would compare Cleotrapa to someone like Cardi B, where it's like she makes music, but she's always had a following. She's very personable, very charismatic, very funny online, and she has gone viral for her like funny takes. but her music hasn't like hit the stratosphere in the way that Ice Spice has, right?
That kind of reminds me of like where Sabrina Carpenter was pre like going on Eras Tour and releasing these singles, like where she was now. Like she was funny and cute and people knew her and she was there, but she hadn't had a big hit until
That's so good until Espresso, but the Eras Tour too.
Yeah.
Like the combination.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. You're setting us up.
I have to whiteify all of this.
I had not heard of Sabrina Carpenter before Espresso at all. Exactly. I didn't know she existed at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was in the world. We have a whole Patreon episode about her and
Olivia Rodrigo and that
She's the blonde girl that Olivia Rodrigo is referring to in Driver's License.
Oh, wow. So yeah, there you go.
So she's been around.
Learning things. Wow.
So Cleotrapa, again, very bubbly, funny personality. I would say similar to Cardi B. She has a whole video series of like grammar lessons, and it's so fun. And she's like, "You're with the apostrophe. Apostrophes be kicking your ass,"
that kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff. So really fun. So let's go. Ice Spice and Baby Storm. Baby Storm and Ice. This is a different character. Baby Storm is another musician. She's a dark skinned musician. She doesn't rap. She does like spooky gothy like pop, which I think you would like, and I like her stuff. In April of 2024, Baby Storm accuses Ice Spice of using Cleotrapa for clout. Baby Storm was Ice Spice's friend, and she claimed like her and Ice Spice had a falling out, and like Baby Storm like did a rant and like kind of went erratic, and for days was just saying.
Would you say that she crashed out?
She crashed out.
Wow.
That's a famous crash out.
Wow.
That's why we're circling, because she crashed out.
She did.
And in her crash out, she was saying a lot of stuff. People were comparing her to Azalea Banks, who we just talked about. We had a Patreon episode about the many beefs of Azalea Banks.
We got to like 7 of them.
7 beefs. But it was like 2 hours, and we only got to 7. But Baby Storm was like, "This is Cleo. This girl chose to be the best friend to Ice Spice in public, when reality, it was me behind the scenes." So like publicly, Ice Spice chose to align herself with this other more seasoned rapper in the scene who's dark skinned to like whatever. But behind the scenes, I was her real friend. Cleo and her are not even really best friends. Isis has always hated Cleo, but she used Cleo so that she could appear closer to blackness, because Cleo's Nigerian ethnically, and Baby Storm says Ice Spice lied about being Nigerian, and she stole that from me. So I don't know, but that was the accusation.
Yeah, I'm like, can you just steal people's ethnicities? I guess. I mean,
I don't, and Ice Spice says that her dad is Nigerian. So
do we have reason to believe that he's not?
The Wikipedia says he's African American, but so I don't know, but maybe he's Nigerian American.
It is funny to be like, she got being Nigerian from me.
Yeah, that's
I
what
know,
I'm like,
I don't know.
That part was like...
Like, maybe... So, I think maybe a possibility is, like, maybe Ice Spice's dad is half Nigerian. I don't know, but, like, the dad is Nigerian, the mom is Dominican, but obviously they met in the Bronx, obviously.
Yeah,
obviously.
That's the only way.
Okay, so that was the thing in April 2024, this year. Yeah, Storm accused Ice of being friends with Cleo for clout and not actually having authentic friendships in general. Because of Ice's allegations, or because of Baby Storm's allegations, Ice is now being seen publicly with Cleotrapa. She goes to basketball games, all this stuff, just to like, I'm really friends with her, And Cleotrapa was featured in her Mood music video. Most recently, in the opening act, Cleo was the opening act for the U.S. leg of Ice Spice's Y2K tour. The tour was 1 month long, and she had 16 stops, including D.C., Minneapolis, Dallas, Toronto, Oakland, Tempe. Like, it was just like all over the U.S., right? So Cleo was opening for her. It wasn't a stadium tour, but it was like a bigger theater tour. It was like a theater, like venues, Right. Cute, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Well,
until it's not.
The tour ended August 31st, right?
Not long ago.
Yeah.
Not long ago.
This is fresh discourse.
Okay.
This is fresh. September 2nd, fans noticed that Cleotrapa and Ice Spice were no longer following each other on Instagram. Just days after the U.S. leg of Ice Spice's tour ended. people were speculating, like, why is this? And somebody says, she just, like, was in it for a bag. Like, Cleo was just, like, in it for the bag and the opportunity to, like, get paid. And when she got paid, she stopped being Ice Spice's friend. And Cleo replied to a fan saying, y'all thinking I got paid is hilarious. I was played, betrayed, and unpaid. Cleo wrote in a comment. I never had a problem with not being paid, by the way. She continued in another post. I knew. I just want everyone to stop thinking I was paid because I wasn't. Questionable, right? It was weird. She wasn't paid to open.
Yeah, that seems extremely odd.
Does seem odd.
Then, after those comments were made, Cleotrapa posted a 6-part with 10 minutes each, nearly hour-long TikTok video sharing her experiences about her time on tour with Ice Spice.
Oh, no.
Cleotrapa accused Ice Spice of being a fake friend in the 6-part video series. In the video, she said she and Ice met 2 years ago when Ice was excited to meet her.
Yep.
Like, Ice was like, oh, I'm such a big fan. I've always followed your career. And later went on to explain why they're not friends anymore. And Cleo says, you guys deserve to know who that girl is as a human being. I'm going to do my best to summarize the 1 hour-long video series, but sometimes things are worth it, sometimes things are not. It was really good. It was captivating. It was fun. Risa Tisa level. I'm saying that.
Yeah, I was watching 3 of them. I watched 3 and I was like, this is too long.
It's long, but I think it's good. I think she's a good storyteller.
She is better than Risa Tisa. I was bored.
Well, Risa Tisa had like so many cliffhangers, but Cleo is, I don't know.
She's better.
Someone's a performer. It's not.
Some people are
She's a performer.
and some
She's
are
used
not.
to it.
Yeah.
Cleo accused Ice of being a fake friend, right? So going on to her involvement of the Y2K tour, Cleo said she was only given 1 day to prepare for the tour. Ice called her. Ice had invited her on the tour before. It's like, you should come on tour with me. And she's like, no, I have a lot of shit going on. I'm not going to leave my life for a month. And then a day before the tour started again, July 31st or something, or July 30th. Yeah. July 28th or 29th, she's calling Cleo. You got to come on the tour with me. Really? Like, could I come? She's like, yeah, but you're going to open for me. And Cleo's like, oh, now this is different. Mm-hmm. Like, this could change shit up for me, you know? And Cleo was initially taken back because Ice Spice has never even asked Cleo to, like, come on stage with her to perform. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the way that, like, it's kind of common for rappers to do of, like, this is my friend, like, to bring him on stage with them, like, whatever. Ice never did that with Cleo. So when Cleo asked Spice, okay, yeah, like, what do I need to prepare? Like, what do I need to do? Like, do I have to get, like, a makeup, whatever? And then Ice said, nothing, girl, you're with me. Like, it's all going to be taken care of. Cleotrapa, I keep saying Cleopatra. It's Cleotrapa. Cleo then speculated the reason Ice Spice invited her on tour was to make up for that fake shit, basically for all of Baby Storm's allegations of, like, she's only using people, she's not really friends with people, all that stuff. So Cleotrapa claimed that gesture that Ice did was, like, a moment that, like, oh, maybe Ice is my real friend, you know? Mm-hmm. The beginning of the video, the beginning of the series is so powerful. We're going to watch just so you guys could get the tone. And then I'm gonna ask you guys your thoughts, and then I'm going to keep summarizing the series.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Cleo. So, y'all know me. I've always been vocal about everything, about literally everything. Nobody can shut me up. Nobody can silence me. Like, was you silenced or was you silenced? Okay, and nobody's gonna do that to me. This video isn't to bash anyone. This is for me to speak on my experience and what I went through. And I want my fans to learn from this. My fans, my followers, my supporters, my future fans, followers, supporters. You don't even have to like me. I want y'all to literally take this situation that I'm about to break down to y'all and be inspired by it. And understand that no matter what the opportunity is, nobody should make you feel less than or make you feel like shit because they gave you an opportunity. It does not matter. It does not give a door, an open way for somebody to try to humiliate you or try to make you feel less than. And I feel as though being such a confident Black woman, I'm sorry. I'm ashy as fuck as a Black woman. I didn't even want to like start tearing, okay? Anyways, as a Black woman, a confident one who knows exactly who she is and exactly what she wants in this world, people are so intimidated by it. And it's either you're intimidated and scared of it, or you love it and you just love it. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I was around somebody who was clearly intimidated by me, and just who I am as a person. And at first it might have been something that they liked, but as you can see, I only go up, and I could be seen as a threat to somebody who clearly isn't confident. I can fall out with a friend over miscommunications, misunderstandings. That's okay. You know, we can work it out, honestly. It's not something that is like, has to end everything. You know what I'm saying? But you actually have one time to show me that you are jealous, intimidated, untrustworthy, fake, disloyal, and genuine, manipulative, and calculated. And I promise you that will be the last time you ever play with me.
General thoughts?
Strong words, for sure. I mean, she definitely comes off as very, like you said, like she has a personality, personable, etc. Are she and Ice Spice the same age?
I think she might be a little bit older. Yeah. Like probably like 2 or 3 years older. Ice Spice is 24.
Yeah.
And she might be 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Okay.
I don't
that
know.
was like
Sure.
what I was like, I needed to
like that makes sense. No, yeah, that's a
are
big
in age to each other as well.
Yeah. So she has a following, but she has not had like the exposure. Like she doesn't have magazine write-ups. So it was like kind of hard to find like background information about her because she doesn't like she's just not in that level yet.
Yeah.
But she has like a huge following and everything. So
she's like a TikTok famous girl.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I knew her from her grammar videos.
Yeah.
Really.
Any other thoughts about anything before we get into it?
She's very self-assured. I'm on her side pretty much no matter what. Whatever ends up coming out, I'm on her side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's talented.
She
also
came off as very genuine to me. And that's the thing is like, I don't actually know her from her music. So I just have to go off like video vibes. And she seemed very genuine to me. Ice Spice, I know a little bit more, and I've seen some videos of her talking, and Ice Spice has always given me a very, like, standoffish, like,
standoffish.
quiet.
More reserved, quiet.
Yeah, which doesn't necessarily mean someone's a bad person, but this girl just, like, pops off the screen in a way that Ice Spice, I mean, Ice Spice visually pops off, because she has, like, the, you know, the red hair and all that stuff, but I've always remember, like, when I watch videos of her, she's very, like, puts a distance between herself and you, whereas this was very like
she has like a 1,000-yard kind
and
of stare.
the hook, the beginning again, and I wanted to show the first 3 minutes because it like summarizes like a lot of the ethos, but it's also like bringing you in. You're her friend, you feel for her, like evoking emotion really strong.
Yeah.
So let's get into what happened on the tour.
Oh my gosh.
So Cleotrapa claimed that her involvement on the tour received no promotion. Her name wasn't even included on any of the flyers, any of the bills, nothing, like, no, like, we just added this person, nothing. Cleo, this is, like, where we get nuanced, and, like, I'm already team because of everything she said, but also, like, as a creator and performer, when she was talking about it, I'm like, I could totally understand and see myself, and, like, people have done shit like this to me, and like I get the nuances, right? She said she said she didn't even get a repost. To not even get a repost, and you're doing the opening for you.
It's just shady all around.
It's just shady, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's like, that is a big deal because
it's
a big
like
deal. Like,
it feels on purpose.
Your Ice Spice, exactly. But it's like, especially like, you open because you want to be Sabrina Carpenter. You want to get to the next level, and to not even like have the main star like promo you, it's just like weird.
I mean, I have felt a version of this
so many times.
So many times when like you're hosting a show and one of the people won't repost the poster and you're like, I put you on my show.
Yeah.
Can you repost the poster? Like, do you not want to do my show?
Yeah.
Do you not want to be associated with what I'm doing? Like, I 100%, as small of a thing as it sounds like, I totally understand being like, she never fucking reposted it.
She never reposted the tag. This is just the beginning. All right? We're getting started.
We just cracked it open.
We just cracked it open. So not only was she not on the bill, didn't get reposted, whatever, ISIS, all the fucking social media, everything, all the promotion would say that the show started at 8 or 9, but Cleo would go up at 7:30. Like before they would even advertise. Right. So she's not even saying that, oh, my friend Cleo's performing. She would be performing as people are walking in. And people are like, what?
Because if I saw a show poster that said the show starts at 8, I would think that's when the opener is going on.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that's not to be constantly like Eras Tour, but like Eras Tour started, I think it was at 7:30, and that's when Paramore went on.
Yeah.
So like if I see that, I'm not showing up at 7 because I don't think anything's happening.
The doors aren't even open at 7 in my head.
I don't even think that the venue is available to me.
And I like seeing openers because it gives you like, it lets you get the hand. And also a lot of the bands I listen to, a lot of groups, artists, they were all openers. And I'm like, I fucking love this vibe. And I would go, it's just the best form of promotion. I would go and be like, oh, and then go see them like when they come by themselves. Anyway. So things got to a turning point when Cleo received no help carrying her luggage so they'd be on a tour bus, go from tour bus to hotel to venue or hotel to venue, then tour bus. So all between that, like she wouldn't get any help carrying her bags. To me, I'm thinking about like, right now, comedy, which again, Jay brought up, a comedy show. I'm still dressing up. I'm doing my makeup. I'm doing my hair. All that is important. I'm like, how many suitcases would I have to have? Because 16 shows, you have to have a month. 30 outfits at least. Yeah, and like performing outfits.
You're performing as a musician. Like
so you need to be like more.
I'm the talent. Can you help me out? Is basically
the level of looks that you're like trying to pull for something like this.
Exactly. So okay. Think about that. How much luggage would you bring for a 16-stop tour, right? And then bringing that from hotel to venue to tour bus, right? So I Spice, she has like 10 to 12 bags, and she gets like her security, her team is bringing all the bags for her. So Cleo was embarrassed one day after the show. After the show, she had to bring her own suitcases around, and she was like, fans were waiting outside to like meet and greet her and stuff, and they like saw her, like they captured her like carrying her bags on the tour bus because Ice's team refused to carry Cleo's bags. Cleo asked Ice like, hey, like, do you know what the bag situation is? Like, could your staff help me take my bags? And Ice said no, because then her staff would want to be paid extra to take Cleo's bags. Cleo said, that's okay. I can pay them extra. Right. Like, is it like more of an hourly rate or what? Like, because I'll do it, like, because it's worth it for me.
Yeah. Even though that's also insane for her to say,
she's already out of deficit.
Pay. Like, also, it's like she's not paying her to open, and she can't even give them, like, it's not even an hour for them to carry. And like, what is it, 25 bucks? Like, I don't understand.
So then Cleo's like, okay, well, what's the extra rate I can pay? And then Ice is like, oh, well, security's paid a flat rate. So it wouldn't really work for you to pay them extra. So then Cleo goes on to say, like, if they're paid a flat rate, then they have to carry whatever you tell them. So if you tell them to carry my bags, like, they'll do it. But, like...
Just put her bags on top of a speaker or something and have them bring both at the same... Like, I don't understand
why... Unless we forget, from the beginning, she was like, I've got you. Like, you're under my wing.
Exactly.
These are my people.
So Cleo felt like Ice just wanted to humble her. Like, wanted her to get that experience of carrying her own bags and all that stuff, right? And another thing, right, was Cleo was expected to pay for her own lodging during all of during the whole tour, and they're staying at 5-star hotels, right? So again, after the bag conversation, something switches, and before, right, I said you're with me, you're fine. Cleo's assuming that she's gonna be in Heist's hotel room.
Yeah.
So what happens is over the course of the tour, Ice would be like one time Ice is like, hey, like my boyfriend Riot, because she's dating Riot, my boyfriend's gonna be staying in the room with me, so can you make other, but one time like after the luggage conversation, basically Ice like in front of everybody goes to Cleo and is like, so you're not having your own room, like where's your room, or something, like kind of embarrassed her like that. And Cleo was like, oh, I thought I was with you, like, oh, sorry. And so it was like whatever, like kind of that thing of like, wait, I thought you were my friend, like you're not.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm also, again, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not a musician, whatever, but shouldn't the opener have a room that's paid for by the tour?
I guess my question at this point is, are there contracts? And also, if Ice is as big as a superstar as she thinks she is, whatever, wouldn't you then take care of your opener?
Yeah.
Or make sure the contracts had happened so that your opener can have all the things?
Well,
or it's a flex is what she was trying to do.
It's a flex. So, right, again, it's another thing where it's like, are you trying to like make me feel bad?
Yeah.
So Cleo ended up staying in the like hairstylist room, like for the rest of the tour. So that, because again, the hairstylist has to come with their own account, because the hairstylist, the makeup artist, she has a clothing stylist, like they all have their own rooms.
Yeah.
So she would like stay with them during the tour. Cleo also claimed that, she never had any space backstage. Like, the agreement was because they're friends, they would split the dressing room. And also, like, this isn't an arena. Like, the dressing rooms and all of that, like, they're smaller. It's, like, smaller venues. So they would only have one dressing room. So, for the most part, like, it would be her splitting it with Ice, or, like, she would get ready first or whatever and have to do her own makeup, have to do her own hair and stuff. But after the luggage conversation, Ice would, like, ice her out. Or they would put her in a bathroom, like her dressing room was the bathroom that everyone would the crew would use.
Oh my God.
Or like,
I did not get this far in the video, so I'm like...
Yeah. One time, like Ice, Cleo put her purse on the couch in Ice Device's dressing room. And when she came and like left the dressing room and to give Ice Spice space to get ready alone, when she came, like she saw that her purse was hanging outside the door. And then the next day, she found that somebody had used her card and like charged her $700.
No,
and
$700.
Yeah, so it's like because of that. So it's like, why'd you do that?
Crazy.
Like, so okay. She says she doesn't know who did it, whatever.
Allegedly.
But, okay. So, she couldn't have anybody, but then there ended up being an extra tour bus van. So she's like, okay, well, maybe I could bring an assistant and that person could like carry my bags and help me do my makeup and help me with everything for the show. And the assistant came out to Chicago and then was about to get on the bus to go to the next tour. And they're like, no, there's no room for you. So she couldn't bring this assistant. Okay. Other times were during the group food orders, they would order food for the whole crew. And one day, like the whole crew, like, again, the stagehand, whatever, the makeup person, they're all getting like chicken salads. So they passed the phone to Cleo so she could order her thing. And she orders a chicken salad. And then management goes back and says like, no, you're not on the budget for chicken salad. So you can't be on this group order. Because she was not. So Cleo said like, that was also like a humiliating moment that she felt like was intended to humble her. Yeah. Because if Ice was a real friend, she would have paid for the thing herself.
For a chicken salad.
And yeah, so she was like, chicken salad? I don't get chicken salad. Or they could have sent her an invoice at the end, or Cleo could have paid for it. Something. But it was like things like that, right? I have just a few more instances before we can like
clearly just to be mean.
Like, this is crazy.
Other instances include that one day, right, they were told to be at the bus at 9 a.m. because they're leaving to go to the next place. So most tour buses, like the artist has the room in the back of the bus, like a big room with a huge bed. And then little bunk beds, like stacked on 3 on them, whatever. So Cleo was already like kind of halfway through the tour. After the luggage conversation, Cleo was already like kind of ostracized to the bunk bed thing. So she goes in at 9 a.m. to the bunk bed. She goes to sleep. She's like sleeps. And when she wakes up, she sees that the bus hasn't moved, that they're still there. And it was like, oh, Ice isn't ready to leave yet. So it's like, well, why didn't you guys tell me? I've been on this bus from 9 to 2 p.m. And like we're in the still same place. Like I could have done something, whatever. So again, little things like that. Cleo tried to make the best out of the situation. She says again, like, Ice Spice was being very weird towards her, but also like Ice Spice doesn't like to do anything. Like she's not fun. Like she doesn't even like to play. Like she doesn't play board games. She doesn't like during the tour or whatever.
Right.
She won't even play Uno. That's like the biggest thing.
She's not even gonna play Uno.
Not even gonna play Uno. Not even a game of Uno.
Well, her blackness was in question, and now she don't want to play Uno. I have questions. Why don't you want to play Uno?
Then one day, this was the most egregious to me. One day, they were in the middle of nowhere between Texas and Mexico. That's what she said. The closest thing to eat, there was no Uber Eats or anything. The closest thing was a McDonald's, which is a 10-minute walk away. And she was scared. She was trying to get people from the tour, like no one was really talking about food and no one whatever. So she was like, okay, let's try to figure out like who can come with us to McDonald's, right? I'm going to play what happened.
Went downstairs. And I seen her in the lobby, and her and some other boy, one of our friends, was just standing there, with a basketball. I'm like, oh, what y'all just did? Oh, we was playing basketball, whatever. Nobody said anything about eating. Nobody. I'm like, me and the hairstylists keep talking about food. We like, oh, damn, we mad hungry. Like, we mad hungry, just a McDonald's. Nobody said anything about food while me and her are talking about how hungry we are. Now we go to the boys' bus, tour bus, and we just sitting on the bus. We just like, yo, like, can somebody come with us to McDonald's? Like, nobody want to walk there by themselves. We fake want a man with us. They like, oh, that's mad far. Like, nah, like, word, there's a desert, it's scary. I'm like, okay. Nobody said anything about food still. Come to find out, everybody ate. Can you believe that? Everybody ate. Guess what? They all went to a steakhouse. Everybody went to a steakhouse and left me, the hairstylist, and the makeup artist. Everybody went to go get a bite. Steak, mash, cream corn, spinach. And we didn't have anything. We didn't eat at all. We're trying to figure out how to get a McDonald's, and y'all all ate already? Nobody mentioned it. You know why nobody mentioned it? Because it was a secret. It was a secret, and I gagged. One of the things that I have to charge to the game, I guess. I'm like, what? They said, don't say anything. We don't want to make it a problem. All right, I'm not going to say anything. One of the things I'm just going to have to bring up when I'm ready to leave.
That's insane.
That's so messed up.
And also, for the hairstylist and the makeup artist, you made them starve too?
Yeah, it's actually...
Well, it's like they were punishing her for being friendly with her. I'm punishing the girls for being friendly with Cleo.
That,
yeah.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense to me because it is so bizarre to me to have a group dinner that includes everyone but 3 people. Like, that is...
And make it a secret? No one talk about it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they're both talking about being hungry and everyone's just sitting there like... like, that is so shady. And then also, at least, if you really want to keep your stupid fucking secret, walk them to McDonald's.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why weren't any of the guys going to walk them to McDonald's? You're full of steak and mashed potatoes and stuff. Walk it off and take these girls to McDonald's.
This is insane.
So what say you guys so far?
So I guess my question at this point, because I still don't know this, I didn't research that much about this situation, but why did Cleo continue on to this tour?
So her rationale was like, I'm just gonna get through the tour, and like every time something would happen, she's like, I'm just gonna bring it up at the end because like I'm just waiting for this to be over, and I'm just gonna bring it up at the end because look at how my treatment got worse when I made the request about the luggage. Like I don't want to wreck the boat, and then finally like the second to last show was Atlanta, and her mom was gonna go to that one. So she's like, I have to make it to this show. Also, when her friends would go see her, they weren't allowed backstage. Like or anything like that, and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was her thing. It's like I have to go, like basically, like my mom. I want my mom to see me, and also
Right. I
like
guess I'll suck it up.
she's just, I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna like bring it up later to Ice Spice, like, and also she was scared, like if she freaked out, whatever about the luggage thing, like. She's trying to be very careful about what she does.
I'm saying
next.
though, if you're not getting paid and you're not getting fed and you're being treated as a second-class citizen, then let's just I'm gonna charge it to the game and move on. I'm gonna be like, okay, you clearly don't want me as your opener. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
That is why I honestly asked about her age, because I was like, oh, you do not have to take this,
Yeah,
girl.
this
Like,
is
you need to get
mistreatment.
the hell out of there. But I also do understand, like, she's literally on a tour bus with all of her stuff. Like, there's probably like a Stockholm syndrome element to it where you feel like, oh, you can't. I can't cancel the tour. I can't leave. There's so many things in my life where I put up with so much bullshit because I was like, well, I can't quit. And it's like,
right.
my number one piece of advice that I would ever give to any like young person coming up in the arts of any kind is you absolutely can quit.
Yeah.
You can walk out.
You can walk out, and most of the time it's like it'll be okay.
Yeah, and I guess it's like, right, 16 dates, 30 days, like it's not that, it's really a month, and also like it's probably go like as soon as they have their movie. So it's like there's a lot of shit, and I could totally see her like, look, there's a week left, like, or there's 2 weeks left, like, let me just see this through and whatever. Versus like if it was a year-long thing, that would be whatever.
9-month cruise.
Well, 9 months
Right.
cruise,
It was a
yeah.
9-month-long
I don't know,
cruise.
but I can't starve for that long.
Yeah.
I can't starve for a month.
Yeah.
Well-
But I get how the circumstances probably made her feel like, oh, I'll just stick it out. I'll complain at the end.
Yeah.
I'm already here.
Yeah.
I'm with my stuff. I'm trapped in it. I couldn't possibly quit. And it's like, let's see what happens if you actually say, I'm walking,
Yeah,
and you're
this
not
is
going to
not
have an
cool.
opener. Get another opener for the
But
rest.
she has another opener, a male rapper who's on the bill.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a lot of this stuff, the way it went down publicly, like for her to publicly be told, you're not on the budget for the chicken salad. Why don't you have a room? So the making her carry her bags in front of people, it does speak to her point of like someone who's trying to humble you, make you feel bad. Like it is giving that Ice Spice wanted to be very clear about who was on the top of this ticket.
Yeah.
But I feel like the other thing is you can do that by being insanely
Insanely nice.
generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is like she could have showed her if what she really wanted to do was like big dick her and show her how much of a bigger star she was and all this stuff. You could do that by providing her with so much stuff and so much care.
And then also that girl will be loyal to you
Yes.
forever. Like,
Look at my unimaginable wealth. You could have 2 chicken salads.
Yeah.
right.
You can come with us to
bring
the
your
steakhouse.
boyfriend, bring this,
Yeah.
like all this stuff. So basically, she goes through all this. She gets home. She sends Ice like basically like, hey, I don't really like how I was treated, blah, blah, blah. It made me feel really bad, whatever. To, air her grievances on the tour privately. Ice replied that she's ungrateful for the opportunity that she was given. And, all this stuff. And she had really nasty replies. You can see in the screenshots. Ultimately, like, so that was like when Cleo was like, you know what, fuck you. And that's when she, Cleo said, like, I felt like I was invited on the tour to damage control the situation with Baby Storm. So then Ice responds on September 3rd on Twitter Spaces. She does like kind of like a Clubhouse live thing.
Get out of Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, why are you there?
I was like, that Twitter Spaces exists specifically for like Republicans to launch fucked up campaigns.
Well, and this is how she addresses the concern. She's like, y'all know this is not funny. Crashing out is sad, you guys. The scary part of fame is the moment that someone feels they can no longer use your platform, or like they're not exactly getting what they want out of a situation the way that they want it. You know what I mean? That's when they decide to crash out over every single thing. And then she's like, this is a pattern. I was genuinely trying to help her. Like, we had extra room and I said, you want to come on this tour? And it was last minute. And, you know, we had extra bunks and I was like, let's see if Cleo wants to come. She could do her songs and stuff like that. But like, that's what I fucking get for trying to be her good person. Whatever, bro. Ice Spice claimed that Cleo left out so many details about her time on tour, recalling their time. She's like, I can't believe she says I don't like to do things. Like, we went to an amusement park and we were having fun. And you're trying to complain about a chicken salad? You never came talking to me about a chicken salad. So, like, what are you going to do about it now? You're going to send me a whole message after tour? Like, you just got off the bus? Like, I don't even know that you got off the bus and you're going to send me an essay, intro, body, conclusion, trying to analyze this shit and figure out how I'm wrong when all I did was share my stage with you, when I didn't even have to do that. You got less than 10,000 listeners a month. That's her Spotify numbers. Oh. And I'm sharing my stage with you and you're feeling entitled. The whole thing that's blowing me right now is, because Cleo kept talking about, like, Ice has dark energy. She has dark energy. She's like a demon. Like, there's something not right there.
You can tell when you look at her pictures. You can tell.
So, talking about some dark energy, trying to compare a tour bus to a slave ship. She did the slave ship comment when she was talking about the bunks, how they're stacked on each other and like very enclosed. Like, what are you talking about right now? What? That's so crazy to me, bro. That is so crazy. You really gonna be friends with someone for 2 years, but the whole time you feel like they're soulless and dark? Like, you sounding dumb as hell, bitch. If anything, we both need saving. What the fuck are you talking about? We was at the movie theaters. We were hanging out. But you're not going to tell... This is the part that is going viral. Bitch, you're not going to tell people how we was at an Italian restaurant and you ate so much fucking food, you fucking vacuum, that the server was like, where did the food go? Stop it right now. So basically, she's like... So then, it's a sound, but people... It's funny because people are like... That's what you do in a restaurant.
Yeah, let me tell you right now, if I am at an Italian restaurant, I'm eating so much fucking food that the waiter's gonna say, where did the food go? And I'm gonna say, it's right here.
Also, it's so funny that a waiter would say, where did the food go? When, like,
a waiter would never.
Where would it go? You leave a plate of food and people eat it. Like, what do you mean where it would go? Anyway, so then after the Twitter space, Ice Spice seemingly mocks Cleotrapa in now deleted post. Would you rather, and then there's two options, a Twitter poll. Be a mean bad bitch or be a stupid bum bitch, right? That was the first poll that she did. And the second poll she did was, what should I do for dinner? Steakhouse or chicken salad? The two options, right? Then Ice Spice's management weighs in. And basically, like, the manager was like, this is her manager, like, this is Cleo's manager's fault. Her manager should have told her, like, what happened. Like, this is what happens when an artist goes on tour. Like, he should have explained the opportunity to her. Like, she's just young and she doesn't know anything, and now she's, like, ruining, and she's so unprofessional and so messy. He's like, I spoke to Cleo's manager this morning, and the manager realized, like, that Cleo's 100% in the wrong, and that his client doesn't have the financial backing to be on the tour. And then Cleo replied, like, that guy's lying. Like, my manager never talked to you. You're lying. Then in response to the vacuum comment, Cleo accuses Ice of being on Ozempic because Ice big. So this is basically, imagine being called big by someone that was just big. I'm going to bed, bro. Ozempic got y'all gassed and fat phobic now. Bet. So finally, on September 4th, we love her. We hate her. But we love her. Azalea Banks jumps in to
we love
defend Cleotrapa. So Azalea Banks said, I don't like how everyone's trying to make Cleotrapa look any fucking who. At Cleotrapa will be performing with me on Halloween, October 31st at Terminal 5. She will be paid. She will have her own space to glam whatever she wants on her rider because I have fucking respect and class.
Yes.
And Cleotrapa acknowledged Banks' support and quote tweeted it with a kiss emoji.
We love her.
Azalea Banks has been summoned.
She's got a bunch of other stuff, but it was crazy, and I'm not gonna engage.
Yeah, it's fine because that's okay. Broken clock, you know.
Broken clock. She's
Broken clock is right twice a post.
Yeah, twice a post. Yeah.
Because then she started talking about like Cardi B and how like Ice Spice isn't really black, and it's like okay,
all right. Well,
okay.
you know, we're having such a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. Thoughts, guys? That's the discourse.
Look, I think that Ice Spice went to the rap school of Nicki Minaj. And it sounds to me like she's going the way of her. And it's possible that maybe when she was working with Nicki Minaj, that Nicki treated her like that. And she feels like she has to now son somebody else. You know what I mean? Like when you're mistreated, you start to mistreat other people.
Displaced anger. Yeah. And even like what Baby Storm said a long time ago, when Baby Storm said that in April, that like Ice Spice was, Baby Storm had screenshots where Ice Spice was talking shit about Nicki Minaj and was like, Nicki Minaj just washed up and irrelevant. Like, I'm the one that got her like this Barbie song and all this shit. It would never be popping without me and all this stuff. Whatever. So it's like probably Nicki Minaj sunned her and like she's trying to pass it on. Yeah.
The thing to me that just sticks out about all of this is that there is such this undercurrent of like this just toxic mentality that is all throughout entertainment, which is like, oh, if I'm giving you an opportunity, then I don't even have to pay you.
Yeah,
I don't have to I don't have to give you shit. I don't have to feed you. I don't have to tell you anything. And you as an artist, because you're getting an opportunity, quote unquote, you have to lay down and just accept whatever because of the potential chance that you might get more Spotify streams, listens, whatever. You should take any kind of treatment. That is just so pervasive in all of entertainment everywhere, and it fucking sucks. No one should be paid in opportunity. People should be paid in dollars.
Real American
people
dollars.
should be respected, because at the end of the day, you want your opener to look good, be well rested, be fed, and all that stuff, because your tour is better when your opener isn't starving and carrying her own bags and so like upset and shit. But it's this mentality that doesn't even take into consideration the totality of like to me, I'm like, oh, Ice Spice isn't thinking of her show as a whole show and a whole production the way really top artists actually do. When you think about the people who are at the top of their game right now, I'm thinking about even like Olivia Rodrigo's relationship with Chappell Roan, because Olivia Rodrigo had Chappell Roan opening for her, and now they're doing all these videos where like Olivia will sing with Chappell. They'll sing each other's songs. There is no way Olivia Rodrigo is having Chappell Roan carry all her wigs up the stairs.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all her glam.
Exactly. Chappell Roan carrying a ball gown down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like,
But also-
that's not happening, because you treat your opener with respect, because your opener is part of your show.
Yeah.
They're an extension of you.
Yeah.
You're like, this is my person. This is the person that I have co-signed to be here.
Yeah.
Not I'm going to have you sneaky up at 6:30 before I even have anyone else show up. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
All of it was weird.
Yeah.
All of it was
weird.
weird. And the thing is that everything that I said doesn't refute any of the claims that like Cleo was making.
No, I feel like it makes them stronger, because she did have dark energy in those responses and was really mean and nasty. And there was this level of, well, I'm bigger than you. Look at your Spotify streams. I gave you this opportunity, blah, 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 which is the exact attitude that
she's saying you had.
that she's saying you had. So I feel like her response only made me feel more like, oh, this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was for real. Because there was part of me that was like, well, Ice Spice is really young. Maybe she didn't have a grasp on her team and how her people were being treated. Maybe she's head in the clouds.
Right.
Like she doesn't know one way or another. But it's once you hear that response, I'm like, oh no, it was intentional and it was mean.
Or just like she has no idea, or like she's young, so she doesn't have the compassion of knowing like how it feels to be in that girl's position.
Yeah.
Another thing people are saying, like, again, this is on Cleo, like, so there's been a lot of discourse. Most of it is like Ice Spice is mean and weird, and like she's always had mean girl energy, and she's trying to do the girl thing, but it's not working because look at how she's treating her girl. A kind of valid argument is just like she should have like talked to her manager first or paused it.
I was
or worked out
surprised the manager was involved in this.
Yeah, it just sounds like two girls were like, yeah, you want to open for me real quick?
Yeah, so that was like the big criticism that I feel like is kind of valid of like, yeah, she should have worked out with her manager, and like the manager could have asked like, where's she gonna stay? What about meals? What about this? What about that? I think even like Ice Spice's manager said like if she couldn't figure it out in the first few like maybe she misses the first 5 days of the tour just so she could like work those things out, and like that's a lesson too. Like that was a valid criticism, and you know I've just also been there. Like I just have so much compassion for Cleo because we have big personalities and, you know, whatever. And it's like, and also we have like friends who are really famous or whatever. And they think that just putting us on, but like not treating us like a human being on the way or like, again, trying to humble or be like, no, but this is my thing. This is my, and it's just like, if you're truly secure in yourself, like you wouldn't care about that. Yeah.
I'm little. I'm nobody. Then you shouldn't be trying to humble me.
Yeah.
If I really am nobody, you shouldn't be trying to humble me.
And I don't know if I'm going in with this with like biased lenses, but now Cleo's Spotify listeners are more, obviously, because this went insanely viral. That first video that we said, the 3-minute clip, that video has 5 million views. Her Spotify listeners gone up. I'm going to say biasly that her music is better than Ice Spice's music.
It is. Ice Spice is not that talented.
Yeah, her music is good. Like, you would really like the song Rockstar. Very emo-inspired beats, but like she raps on it. She's doing like cool wordplay. She did a freestyle about it. That's great. So it's good. So that's basically the discourse.
I have like another thought. If I'm going to give Ice Spice any sort of tiny bit of credit, which I don't think she deserves, but whatever, I'm gonna sit here and do it. Perhaps she doesn't know anything about this shit because she is like 23 and never had to struggle.
Exactly.
She flew up to stardom. So she flew up to being like a Grammy winner somehow.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know what happens on the bottom when you're doing like smaller shows. So perhaps she didn't know. And then when Cleo brought it up to her about the suitcases, she was like, oh, fuck you. Now I'm going to make it hard for you.
Exactly.
So that's what I think probably happened.
It's like that, like she didn't know, but then like the secret stuff.
Well, then later on it becomes like purposeful. Like now I'm going to make it hard for you.
Yeah, because
you hassled me.
She does seem
you
petty.
Yes.
Like that when whatever it was, that moment with the suitcases got brought up, that like brought out, I think, a petty streak. I do think the youth of both people is at play here. In the case of Ice Spice, that she just is super duper young and exactly everything you said, had such a meteoric rise so fast. Is also just like people who are 24 are very self-centered and might not even realize what's going on.
She never had to be in the trenches. She never had to go to open
Saturn
mics.
hasn't returned.
Yeah.
Saturn return will beat your ass.
Yeah.
And then with Cleo, it's more of a youth. Not that she's been in the industry less time, because she hasn't, but it's a youth in like this level of stardom where it's like she should definitely have gone to her manager and said, they're not feeding me, they're not putting me up. Like that is something where you can call your, that's what your reps
where your manager's
kind of for.
Yeah.
And I don't think she realized that was like available to her, an option, or that it's like none of this is above board. You shouldn't be being asked to do this in a day. So I think both of those things are coming at play. But at the end of the day, the fact that when she brought this stuff to Ice Spice as a friend, that Ice Spice was just like, fuck you, you ate all of our Italian food.
Yeah.
Like, that to me speaks very poorly of Ice Spice.
Just bad vibes at this concert. I hate it.
Is it time for Grasshole? We've got a quick one
Grasshole.
today.
Let's do it.
Okay. This is our segment, Grasshole of the Week, where we talk about the person or people who need to log off the most. Sometimes it is loving, sometimes it is not. This one, I'm honestly just mainly concerned for our Grassholes and like the state of mind that they enter the world in. For the first time ever, our Grasshole is potentially thousands of people.
Well,
and this is where scams come in.
Okay.
Because this week's Grasshole are the people who believed the Chase Bank glitch.
Oh, no.
yes.
Have you guys heard about the Chase Bank
We've heard
glitch?
about it. Did I almost go myself?
Did I think about it?
Yes.
Sure.
So, in our re-released episode that we put out last week, where we talked about the $50,000 in a shoebox cut article, the way we talked about that was like, I would go through it and Millie would tell me where things blooped for her. So where you get a little,
Yeah.
this
a
probably
red flag
isn't-
moment, yeah.
This might not be good.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through what the Chase Bank glitch is.
Okay.
And you guys just give me your bloops. Okay?
Immediate bloop.
Yeah.
Chase
Already.
Bank glitch, bloop.
Yeah.
So last weekend, the phrase Chase Bank hack was trending on TikTok after users became convinced that the bank's ATMs were glitching nationwide and causing them to give people unlimited cash.
Bloop.
Unlimited cash from a bank is a bloop for me.
I'm going to say Chase Bank hack.
Is a bloop.
Is a bloop.
No, hack on TikTok for a bank to do fraudulent activity.
Yeah, that's the hack is fraud.
Bloop, bloop,
Yeah.
bloop, bloop.
So all bloop. We loop the entire thing that I just said. Okay, great. Dozens of TikTok users claimed in videos that have since been deleted that the bank's ATM would allow any customer to immediately withdraw from any check that had just been deposited, even if they didn't actually have the money in their account. So basically, you write yourself a check for thousands of dollars, deposit it, and then take out money you never had in the first place. So I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but that glitch is actually a crime.
Yeah.
And that crime is called check fraud.
Yes.
It's a pretty known crime that's existed for a while. This is per NBC Business. Criminal statutes on the severity of punishment for instances of check fraud may vary by state to state. But in California, misdemeanor check fraud carries a 1-year prison term and financial penalties. And in New York, it can result in up to 3 months of jail time and a fine. So the bank says that as of today, it is reviewing thousands of incidents of people doing this, which is particularly hilarious because in order to execute the glitch, you have to put in your debit card, deposit a check with your name on it,
and your signature,
and your signature,
PIN.
and put in your PIN, and ATMs now record
videos,
video of every transaction. So it is the least slick crime you could possibly commit. It's basically like, hello, I'm a criminal and my social security number is this.
Here is my crime. I did it.
So here's a quote from Rolling Stone. It took less than 3 days for the Get Cash Quick scheme to become a shit show. Users posted hundreds of now deleted videos showing their Chase accounts with negative amounts of up to $50,000. Which is so funny. Like, why wouldn't you try a smaller amount?
Yeah.
You're going to go $50,000
Go big or go home.
immediately.
I know.
Go hard.
And the article, this Rolling Stone article goes on to make some interesting points about how there's like a whole ecosystem of bad, potentially illegal financial advice online. Apparently earlier this year, there was a 26-year-old mother identifying herself just as Patricia, who went viral for her Businesswoman University program, which basically...
I like these crimes. This kind of crime I like.
So she told women to make circular transactions across multiple credit cards to grow their credit lines and then use that to start a business, which financial experts say it violates multiple tax laws.
That one's a little bit more involved. I'll let that slide.
Yeah. Patricia.
Patricia's fine.
Let Patricia
She's
cook.
fine because she has a university.
Yeah.
So, guys, for believing that something titled Chase
Bank hack
was real, and for doing it to the tune of $50,000. Chase Bank glitch believers, go touch grass.
All the grass. Get
All
out
the
there.
grass.
Get outside.
I know you need,
outside.
but not to the ATM.
No.
ATM.
Anywhere but to
Breathe
the bank.
fresh air, touch grass, no ATM fraud for you. It's almost like elder fraud, but opposite, like for youth, for people that were on TikTok and then are like, oh, I can do a hack for my bank.
Yeah.
But
This is the new elder fraud.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they've
just-
got elders on the phone.
I know, but they get
on
the
internet.
youth on TikTok.
Yeah.
but the elders, they're the victims.
Yeah.
Chase
the
is-
kids are not the
The
victims.
You victimize yourself.
You victimize
Like,
yourself.
at the end,
you victimize
because
yourself.
Chase Bank is fine. Chase
Yeah.
Bank
Made it hot
is not, will be getting
for
their
you.
money back.
They're getting their money back, but now you're going to jail.
Now
Yeah.
you're going to jail. But they opened up all these brand new jails, so we got to fill them up
So
somehow.
the big winner is the new
the
jail.
industrial,
It's the industrial
complex.
prison
yes,
system.
Yes.
Isn't that always the winner, though?
Yeah, that's actually how you should end every episode.
Well,
And sponsored by Rikers Island. No, okay.
this is not the daily.
This was an amazing episode.
Amazing.
Learned so
Ariel,
much.
why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, your podcast, your
boy.
socials, all that good stuff.
Yeah, my name's Ariel Leaty, Ariel, since we talked about how to spell names in the beginning. Ariel Leaty on Instagram, Twitter. I'm still on Twitter. It's sad.
No, it's fun.
It's fun.
Okay, it's a little sad, but it's fun at the same time. And I do Fraudsters. It's a podcast about fraudulent activity, mostly white-collar crime, and we come out every Tuesday. This season is about the war on drugs and how fraudulent it is. Wowie. You should give it a
Wow.
listen.
And speaking of filling up those prisons.
That's really what
Yeah.
most of it is about.
Yeah.
Guys, you can find this podcast at Go Touch Grass Pod on everything. You can find me at Pandalise on Instagram, at Elise Navidad on TikTok. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can find me at Millie _ Tamarez on TikTok and Instagram, and at Millie Tamarez on Twitter. And if you're in Denver, I'm going to be doing a show.
Wow.
I'm going to be
Yeah, I
doing
love
2
that.
shows in Denver coming up in English and in Spanish as part of the High Plains Comedy Festival.
Amazing.
I will be putting that on my socials very soon. But come see me, come say hi, come see mo, come say na, come say. And it's September 20th and 21st. I will be in Denver doing comedy live. So
Do
till
that,
then,
guys. Go see Millie in Denver. And until next time,
go touch grass.
That was a HeadGum podcast.
Hi, I'm Caleb Heron, host of the So True podcast, now on HeadGum. Every week, me and my guests get into it and we get down to what's really going on. I ask them what's so true to them, how they got to where they are in life, a bunch of other questions, and we also may or may not test their general trivia knowledge, whether it's one of my sworn enemies like Brittany Broski or Drew Wallow, or my actual biological mother, Kelly. My guests and I are just after the truth, and if we find it, great, and if not, no worries. So subscribe to So True on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and watch video episodes on the So True with Caleb Heron YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Thursday. Love ya.